Welcome to DreamPath. This is Bryan G. Smith, and my goal is to discover the stories of artists, filmmakers, writers, storytellers, and just about anyone who has made a career in a creative space. Many of these artists will be world-class in their field. For example, Oscar winners, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. Others will be well on their way to achieving such accolades. But all of them, regardless of the accolades and awards they've received, will have something important to share. What was their journey like? What struggles did they face on their path to success? What struggles do they continue to face? What did they learn from their failures? What is their definition of success as an artist? Did their definition of success change once they became successful? And ultimately, what can we, the listeners, learn from these journeys to help us on our own journeys? I hope to find these answers through in-depth conversations with creatives who have made an impact on the world through their art. In the process, I want to humanize and thus demystify artists and their journeys. As a child, even though I loved music and painting and dancing and drama, and even making movies with my dad's Super 8 camera, I never even considered the possibility that I could grow up and make a career in a creative space. Why is that? I knew I could be an architect. In fact, I wanted to be an architect. And the path to becoming an architect was fairly easy to figure out. Graduate from high school, go to college, major in architecture. But how do you become a writer, or a movie director, or a comedian, or a painter? The path to these careers is not typically a well-lit path for young people. Sure, you can major in art in college, but how do you make a living as an artist? Everybody has heard of the starving artists, but how many people hear about starving architects? Perhaps that is why teachers and parents don't encourage children to think of the arts as a viable career path, because there is no clear path to becoming successful in the arts, or even surviving in the arts. And while I suspect that artists who become successful enough to earn a living are probably the exception rather than the rule, I really don't know, because I just haven't talked to many artists. But with DreamPath, that's going to change. One thing I've learned as a trial lawyer, which has been my day job for the last 20 years, is that if I take the time to listen and ask questions with genuine curiosity, everyone, from a cashier at 7-Eleven to an executive at a software company to a city mayor or a stay-at-home mom, has an interesting story. But artist stories are often shrouded in enigma and even mythology, perhaps due to the common perception or misperception that creativity is something you're born with, or that the artist has a gift. As a result, artists can seem less accessible, less understandable. In the DreamPath Podcast, I hope that by discovering and exploring the artist's journey, we can better understand the artist, making them and their creative process more accessible, and in doing so, perhaps help illuminate our own dream paths. Hey, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the DreamPath Podcast. If so, I have a favor to ask. Can you go to your favorite podcast service and give me a rating and review? Your feedback is what keeps this podcast going. I appreciate your time, and as always, go find your dream path.